So I stayed.
It's Minnie Pearl's murder weapon.
You ever been arrested?
Define arrested.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Serve any time?
Oh, yeah.
3 years.
What was the charge?
A crossbow killing, but I had nothing to do with this one.
Ugh.
Bothering a girl.
Bottling a girl?
But I don't kill nobody.
Unless they really deserve it.
A Henry case.
Yeah, that's for sure. Huh?
Monkey-eyed kraut packer.
Ooh.
The girl was pretty young. Wasn't she, Kruger?
Kruger, Luger, Booger.
Well, I guess that's it for this interrogation, huh?
Meanwhile, at Television City in Hollywood.
This must be CBS's replacement for the NFL.
Excuse us, we're kind of recording, if you don't mind.
Out of the studio.
This must be some of that crazy rock and roll that the kids are listening to.
It's called the Crossbow Suite. Toot, 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 toot.
A child's introduction to jazz.
We want to ask you some questions.
Huh? Oh, hi.
Jazz.
Like I told you before,
I already have life insurance.
I was in my room getting ready to come down to the radio station. I fill in on commercials and announcements.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You don't use the name Raymond Milburn professionally, do you?
No, I use Ray Rock.
Used to be Ray
I'll
M.O.R.
get my own show started soon.
What's your present schedule?
Empty.
I fill in at 10 p.m., cut out at 4:30 a.m.
That's why I'm wearing my pajamas.
How long you lived out here?
Me? Oh.
Let's see now. I left San Francisco about 18 months ago.
Jack and Neil and me.
You've been here ever since, huh?
Yeah. Except for the first couple of weeks, I lived in a hotel. Got too expensive.
Anyway.
Say, Lieutenant,
You play bass?
there isn't any chance of keeping this from my parents,
Mr. and Mrs. Rock.
is there?
Well, we won't notify them unless it's necessary.
Why are you so concerned about keeping us from your parents?
Well, they think I'm at Votech, and it'd break their heart if they knew.
I have some money coming to me in a few months. It was left to me by my uncle on the condition I don't get into any difficulties.
Yeah, well, you know.
Why do you anticipate difficulties?
When I first moved into the house, I dated Renee. You know, a few laughs, that's all.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, know what I mean?
That's all there was to it.
All right, go on.
Did you kiss her?
Well, you might as well know. You'll find out anyway.
I'm pregnant.
The only laughs that girl got came from bottles.
Wow.
We put on some dillies.
He works for Dairy Queen?
Just don't want my parents to know.
They're anti-dilly.
So,
You know, I was talking to the manager a little while ago, and
Seems real nice.
he told me he got to work about 25 minutes late the night the female was murdered.
yeah. My car conked out right on the freeway.
Yeah.
Guy came along finally and gave me a push.
Yeah.
Started right off.
Is that a good enough story?
Suppose you want me to prove it?
That would be nice.
Well, I can't. I have to take his license number.
That's it. Just back away nice and slow. Nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, that was interrogation indeed. All right.
Intensive questioning of each suspect continued for 6 days. They were re-questioned at their places of business, at police headquarters, and at the rooming house itself. Their stories remained unchanged. Each steadfastly maintained his innocence, and they gave no outward appearance of guilt at all.
Look, you can have the variety section when he's done.
All right, God Jockey, come on along.
What? Invisible army? I don't see any. Now, come along.
So Jesus is my personal savior.
Your full name?
Christopher Matling, no middle initial. Let he that committeth no sin cast the first stone.
We'll cast more than stones, Buster. Give us straight answers. No quotes.
Ever been in jail?
No,
Ever been arrested?
Well, maybe.
I was picked up once for vagrancy, but I wasn't booked.
Get off of Cloud 7.
9,
Been a
sir.
vicious murder committed. And you'll look good.
Me? Why, me? I wouldn't look twice at that flip.
The Charlie Callis defense.
Well, I knew she was no good the minute I laid eyes on her. She was possessed.
With what?
Gumption.
Evil. She was evil.
She brought the birds here.
I hadn't been there a week, and I knew she would come to this kind of end. John chapter 3, verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning.
Knock it off.
The devil is my brother-in-law. Lay off.
I write and give lectures,
And I wait tables.
What do you write?
stories about the forces, good and evil, about God.
Who buys your talent?
I had a story in highlights.
Intellectuals. I make a living.
Another brutal interrogation scene. Peter's out.
Ooh, another senseless drive-by filming.
Tate days in the cola.
Oh, that's good water.
So the water cooler is conveniently located at his desk.
God, I love water. I think I love it too much.
You rang.
Anything?
No, still can't go,
Just
sir.
a few things. Nothing near as sensational as the papers are making it.
Nice picture of you, though.
Younger
Then springtime are you,
was
sir.
still in his room. Matling was one of the first ones on the porch after Mrs. Coleman called us. And Screwball Matling even started to give the girl last rites.
Matlock?
And the crossbow, impossible to trace. The company that made them is no longer in business. They made about 2,500 of the things. Had a fire in their place and lost their records.
You like meatballs?
5 men in the house. And only 1.5 million others in this city to work on.
Doing, 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 doing.
We can assume for the time that she knew the person. She didn't lack boyfriends, but for the last couple of months she stayed close to the house. Come in.
Liberace.
I got here as soon as I could. I've known Renee since we were kids together. Almost killed her mother when she heard the news.
Where's he going with
She
this?
hasn't been feeling well anyhow. Renee's had a lot of bad breaks, and I'll admit that she's been pretty wild, but she's done nothing to deserve this.
Well, our evidence shows she did.
That maniac who did it deserves no trial.
No.
Take it easy. We're doing everything we can.
Now I'd like to ask Francis the Talking Mule a few questions.
What's got us is the motive. She had no known enemies. There's nothing at all in the girl's past to indicate that she was in serious trouble of any kind.
Well, what have you learned so far?
Someone purring?
And why won't they let us see the body?
A couple of things we know for sure. The weapon was a sporting-type crossbow.
We're checking Renaissance festivals around the country.
A window rod was taken from a hall window, broken in half, and sharpened with a file to fit the barrel. And then with its 80-pound pull, it not only pinned that girl to the wall,
It made Julian fries.
but embedded itself 4 inches into a wall stud.
Speaking of studs, that's for me.
What do you got?
Yes. Yeah, will you please? Well, we may have some kind of a break. I don't know. In a few minutes, we'll have a report on the heel. Now,
The guy?
I'm not raising too much hope. It was manufactured by a large company, and I guess they're...
Direct from the
well,
laundry
millions,
room.
literally millions, sold all over the country, and, well, just about hundreds of thousands sold in this area every week.
It's from the lab.
She just stole the whole picture.
So what can I do for you?
Do you recognize these pictures?
Oh, that's Bob Crane.
This looks like the type of work that Tony turns out.
Who's Tony?
He works in a studio on Hollywood Boulevard. I think it's right off of Wilcox. His last name's Bettini. I used to work with him for a while.
Pardon my spandex.
I'm going to have to take you to my house for further questioning,
This is
ma'am.
stuff. These are the same props he uses. He does some nice stuff.
herb walnut stuffing to die for.
Tony can probably tell you about them.